Building audience. Building audience. Building audience. Building audience. I never know when this thing is gonna like take a picture of me. What's up, guys? I definitely can't see who you are. Always like to do videos because video chatting and talking is definitely my thing. I am really sick. I'm not really feeling good. I have an ear infection and I'm having some asthmatic condition going on here. But I just wanted to do a video just to say what's up to you guys on Sunday. And I have some really interesting things that I want to do. I have this article written by John Legend, and I definitely want to get to that article because even though I do LGBT, I want to do some other things that's beyond LGBT awareness. Hello Malik, how are you, sir? So I'm going to definitely do this article written by John Legend, and it's actually an article that states how education is not where it should be for people who are particularly cultured in the black community, and how I think the NCAAP was saying basically that the reason why there's a lot of lack is possibly because of the school system and the educational system. Now, what John Legend was saying was that's basically not true because there are a lot of schools now that are not. There's a lot of schools that a lot of black children are going to that are not public, but they're public charter schools, but they're not necessarily public schools. So with that being said, he's basically saying that there's still, John Legend's point was, there's still this economic imbalance and this lack of equality going on because certain students can go to certain schools because of their district, and certain people can do certain things because of their economic status between private schools and etc. How basically white students still have this predominance to be more advanced than black children due to laws. He called it, John Legend said, it's institutional racism that's beyond the educational system. So the NCAAP was saying that the lack of educated or economically empowered black people or younger generation is coming from the idea that the school system has failed people of color. And John Legend's statement was that it's not the school system that has failed people of color, but it's simply that there's institutional racism because black kids can't go to the wealthy schools, which are in the wealthy districts, etc., because of certain laws and decrees. So I wanted to share that with you guys because, like I said, I do LGBT, but I want to go also beyond LGBT. And I thought it was a very good article that I read about what John Legend says. Even though John Legend is a black and he married someone that's clearly not black, he does have this awesome idea about racism because John Legend talks about a lot of the racism that he has experienced. He talks about him going to college and him experiencing racism from him driving, and because he was driving, the police pull him over. And I thought that was kind of interesting because when I look at John Legend, I see him as a black. First of all, I see John Legend as a man. I don't see people for their color. That's the first thing. But I do see him as a black man. But I will still see him as, don't laugh, but I do see him as this Asian type man. So the idea that he had to experience racism, I think, is quite interesting to me. And I think it's just like, wow, even some people who I don't consider I consider them black, but I don't look at them on the black shade of life, or, you know, they experience racism. So for you guys who just came on, I was talking about institutionalized racism that John Legend was speaking about in this article that goes against a quote that the NCAAP has said, that they basically, the NCAAP, you guys have to forgive me as I'm trying to correct the wording, but they were saying that a reason why there's a lot of racism going on is because of the educational system and black people not being economically empowered, them not having the best education to be empowered, etc. But John Legend's statement was that it's not that black kids can't go to school and be successful, because he was saying in New York, most black kids now these days, just not just in New York, but in a lot of inner cities, they don't go to public schools. They go to public charter schools, which is still a public school, but the definition of a charter school is a little bit more in depth with educating black students than a public school, because of their funding and certain resources, because public charter schools are privately funded. That's why P. Diddy has a public charter school, which I would love to go see in New York when I get a chance, you know, because I like P. Diddy. But I would love to see the kind of artistic realm he's created in education for students for his public charter school that he's actually been working on for 5 years. So if you have nieces or nephews that live in New York, you know, try to get them in P. Diddy school. I don't know all the intricacies, but I would, you know, love to go visit and maybe be a teacher. You know, imagine me teaching in P. Diddy school. That would just be too awesome. As some type of educational specialist. But outside of that, I just wanted to share that John Legend's statement about institutional racism was quite interesting to me. It's quite interesting that he experiences a lot of racism, which I don't think, for me, just personally, I wouldn't have expected him to experience. But I'm glad that he is a voice that goes for, you know, people with brown skin. But I think also when I look at John Legend, not giving him any type of shade or anything, I think also people look at him as a two-faced type of black person, because it's like, how could you go for black people, but yet your wife herself is not even black? You get what I'm saying? What do you guys think about that? When you see people who are like strong advocates for black people, and they're black themselves, but they never seem to marry a counterpart that's black. What do you guys think about that? That's quite interesting. Malik, I see you. Michael, how you doing, sir? I don't know if you're still on. Darren, how are you? Khalik, I see you. Yeah, that's pretty much I see. Oh, Keon, I see you too. So you guys, even if you watch this a little bit later, you know, comment, and I definitely will read it. But I wanted to know what you guys think about John Legend's statement about institutional racism, and then the NCAA comment, investigation that is education. Like, those are two different opinions, but they both say something that is quite, you know, bringing a dividing line. But it's like, that just says a lot. That just says a lot. And then it puts, to me, in my opinion, it puts this thought to mind. When John Legend said that, it puts this thought that the NCAAP, it's like, well, who are they really under? Because if you're just saying education, then that's basically saying that you're still not like really calling out the real issue. Like John Legend, like his statements really puts the blame on institutionalism, which comes from governmental decisions and powers and legislations and establishments. But the NCAAP doesn't really come for that. You get what I'm saying? Even though they're for black people, the question is, for me at my own heart, is the NCAAP really for black people, or are they just a people group now, not like how they used to be, but now in today's society, just here to help black people quiet down and lower their really high way of thinking? Because if I never give you the idea that you're being institutionalized in racism, you know, racism being institutionalized for establishment, and that's why you're going through your suffering, then I won't give you the necessary knowledge you need to be able to combat institutionalism. But if I give you the idea that, oh, it's just education, then I'm going to keep you at this idea that we just need to send our kids to certain schools that will still promote institutionalized racism. Come on. Bam, hit that one. So tell me what you guys think. I gotta go because I have pizza coming my way and I'm not really feeling good. I'm really I'm not gonna say I'm under the weather, but I'm recovering. So I know you guys are hitting me up on Messenger, but I really don't feel like talking because I need to save my strength. But this is a very interesting topic, so you guys look it out. Okay.